Today's video, we're going to talk about success and failure. I want to ask you this quick question. Why, when you fail at something, you think that that's it? Why do you have that feeling on the inside that if you fail at something, that's it, that was like the end result? Did you know that most people who are successful, everybody, let me adjust that. Everybody who is successful failed at one point in their life. And did you know that people who are successes in some industry or business that they're in have failed when they tried to do something else? What I think is this huge misconception that you might be having is that you see successful people and you don't see what it took for them to get to where they were at. And also, I'll admit that successful people have a hard time explaining how they got to be successful. When I started my YouTube channel, one of the main goals that I had was to show success, talk about success, but I also wanted to talk about how our minds work when it comes to understanding how to be successful.
Returning visitor.
Most of you have heard about Thomas Edison, where he had 1,000 different ways, 1,000 failures before he invented the light bulb. And he had said that it wasn't 1,000 failures, it was 1,000 ways not to make it. Some people won't go through 1,000 ways. But if I rephrase the question like this, what if you did something 1,000 times and on 1,001, all of your financial dreams came true? So that meant that you failed 1,000 times, and on 1,001, all of your dreams came true. So I already know what's coming to your mind is you're probably like, well, Steve, it's going to take me forever to do 1,000 tries on whatever it is. That's what you're thinking. I know because I can read your mind. Here's the deal, what you need to understand. It does not take an overwhelming amount of time for you to get to that level. It does not. That's the part of us that tries to trick you into thinking that if you're gonna fail at something 1,000 times, your mind is already putting together this time frame, this false time frame. Think about it this way. Whatever you're trying to do to become successful, what if you just went ahead and just did everything that you thought would work for it, and if it failed, it failed, and if it succeeded, it succeeded, and every time that you failed, all you did is make adjustments and try something again. Let's just say that you have an internet business, that you're working in trying to sell a product with your online business, and you run some ads and you don't generate leads. Would you stop running your ad, or would you make adjustments to your ad to start generating leads? Once leads were coming in and people were not buying, people were not answering their phone, people were not doing whatever because they're doing whatever in their life, but they did raise their hand by giving you their information that they were interested in what you had to offer. Would you quit there? Would you just say, well, the leads are not any good? Would you just come up with all these excuses to make it easier for you to let yourself down by saying that the leads are no good? And then let's just say that you do get people on the phone and those people say, well, I don't have the money, or I got to think about it, or I got to do whatever they would say, which we've all said it with different things that we went to go buy and were interested in. Would you get upset and say, oh, those people don't have the money, or I'm not talking to the right people? See, those are all excuses that we will conjure up in our mind to make ourselves feel better. I'm here to tell you that there is no perfect ad that's going to generate leads for people who are going to come with their wallet wide open and tell you to, here, take their money for whatever amount your product or service is. It does not exist. And stop looking at people who tell you stop looking, listening, and internalizing when other people tell you that. Get the truth. If you know when someone tells you something like that, you deep down know that that's just straight up a lie to take your money or to take your time, for watching them to take your time. There is no perfect ad that's going to generate leads of people who are going to just open up their wallet and tell you to take their money. It does not exist. But there are perfect ads that can generate leads, though there are perfect funnels that can pre-qualify those leads, and there are perfect sales pages that can close out some of those leads. And you have to test at each level. And if you fail, think about it. If you fail, why would you throw everything away? Why wouldn't you just take the time to go back and adjust? Take the time to go back and adjust. When I look back at the failures that I've had in business, if I would have just quit and just gave up on myself, which would be giving up on myself and my family, I would not be in the position that I'm in today. And here's the crazy thing too. If you have family and friends and people who don't see your vision, leave them alone, because they're going to think that you're the smartest person in the world that they can get to because they grew up by you or they know you. They're going to think you're the smartest person in the world to them. They may not say it, but they're going to think it because you're successful. So don't worry about that. What you want to get into is you want to get into testing over and over and over again to get to the end result that you want. So if we start, like Napoleon Hill said, on page of Laws of Success, page 1018 or 19, I got it in my mind. You turn the page right there and you put together your mastermind group. It could be yourself and one other person. And then you have a definite chief aim, a goal that you want to achieve. And you put together a plan to achieve that goal. And if that plan does not work, you adjust the plan, but you keep the goal. Remember, Thomas Edison did not say, oh, well, since this didn't work for the light bulb, I'm going to go and invent a car. Or because this didn't work for the light bulb, I'm going to go and invent a candle that can light itself. No, the goal was to invent a light bulb. And he just kept changing and changing and changing. Experimentation. I watched a YouTube video from a billionaire, and he talked about what you should do is just get into experimentation. When you fail, that was an experiment that didn't work. When you succeed, that's an experiment that did work. If you could get into that mode, you will be able to move yourself up more successfully, and you will start to understand how the human mind works. Now, what I want to talk about a little bit, I kind of said that I have a new company that I started, and I really truly believe that this company is going to take me to a new height. It's going to take me to a new height in where people will probably wonder, how was I able to start this type of a company without having the quote-unquote education to have that type of company. And I did my proof of concept with the company, which means that are people buying that particular service that we offer? Will people buy it, and will people pay a little bit of money for it, and will people pay a lot of money for it? I did the proof of concept on that also. So what I did is I came up with a way to shorten the time span. So we live in an age of people want it now, fast. And I talked about in a video that Amazon is not in the product or service business. They're in the delivery business. How fast can we get those products and services to you? Because you can buy those products and services in other places, and you can, even if you do some work, you can find them cheaper. So they've put them in one place. They're going to be cheaper on some levels, not all. But the whole base of their business, the foundation, is quick delivery. So I would suggest that any product or service that you're going to have especially if it's an online business, you have to focus, number one, on transforming the individual. So whatever you give them is going to give them a feeling of transformation. The next thing is going to be as quick as possible. Can you get it to them as quick as possible? And if it's a business like the one I just started, where it's a SaaS product, is where you could scale it. That's with all of the differences that I've had with my businesses. They either had high price, a lot of labor, and even when I wanted to scale it, we had to get more people for the labor. So what I decided to do with my new company is I said, okay, take one of the services that I have. Is there a way to allow that, to be able to have that product actually be taken care of by a software that an individual could utilize, get the result, pay for it without interacting with anybody? And I'm happy to say that I have achieved that. And the company that I hired to put together the application, it's like every time I'm doing testing on it, when I do test, it's just incredible. It's incredible to me. And the next phase that I did, which this is like of my choice, and you don't have to do this, but I wanted to put it into the market of investors to see who would be willing to invest in it. So had a short meeting with an individual that has a lot of money, big time commercial real estate investor, has had a lot of retail establishments that he co-owned, but he owned the real estate. That was his number one gain. And now he's just basically like an investor. And I had showed him the concept even before I had the prototype. I had talked to him about it, and I was like, I had a proof of concept because people pay for this. People pay for it. They pay a lot of money for it. I got small customers and higher paying customers, but we make good money on all of them depending on what they took. And I said my goal was to make this into a SaaS product, software as a service product, utilizing AI, natural language processing. He was like, what the hell is all of that? But he's one of those educated guys, so he was like, oh, okay. Immediately he was looking that up. And I told him that I would probably take, for about 10%. At this time that I would probably take, I said 5 to 10%. I would take about a $500,000 to $1 million in investment capital. Now, the reason why I did say that and I took it to him is because I wanted to see what he thought. Because this is someone who, when there's an investment that's open, that he really believes that can do something, he's a risk taker. And he said immediately, Steve, I want to invest in it. Now, my decision that I'm going to have to make over the next, probably the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to probably launch this product by the middle of November, is that, and just so you know, you could be watching the video of the next billionaire. Like, a lot of people try to get with a billionaire. When they're a billionaire, you're not going to get in. You're not going to get in. But just think if you were one of their friends or someone that they knew on the way up, just think how they would treat you. So don't discount that I'm giving you some insight on this. So if you've watched my videos, I have a health services company where it was the first company that I started where I just invested the money, hired people that knew their job in the medical industry in all the different positions that mattered, and let them build a company. I did the Napoleon Hill strategy where I had I had the goal of what we wanted, put the people in place, they worked the plan, and as they needed, that we reworked the plan. I didn't even actually do anything to change the plan. Like even when it was very slow growing, I didn't do anything to change the plan. I just let them keep going. That was the fastest company that got to $1 million in revenue. I started that company in 2019, July 2019. Company within 2 years achieved more than $1 million in revenue, and then it went to $1.5 million to $2 million to $3 million, going towards $4 million in revenue per year. And all I did was invested in the people that would run the company. My wife and I own 100% of the company. And so my decision, I might just invest all the money. But I'm looking at two options on this one, because the market that is available for this SaaS product that I put together is way more. The medical has a huge market, but it's labor intensive. This one here has a huge market, and because of what I've been able to achieve with the help of the company that put together this SaaS product, I've able to scale it in unbelievable ways because there's no labor intense, no labor needed, other than just I'm gonna have to have the company maintain servers, and I'm gonna have staff that with an upsell that could do a human review of that service. But other than that, people could take off with it. Market, there's only one other company that offers it. But what I did is I researched what they were doing, and what they were doing, people had to do this. What is this? They had to type in info. With my company, no. All you do, take paper, upload it, scan. On the test that I did, the longest amount of time it took to perform the task was 38 seconds. When I had a staff member, when they do this service, 1 to 2 hours. 1 to 2 hours. And that's if there's not another group of work that came in for them before that. I'm just talking about the way we do it now. You get in line, and then when we get to it, 1 to 2 hours. This achieved it in 38 seconds. So you might be saying, well, what about the quality? That's what was shocking to me when I saw the demonstration. That's what I saw that was very shocking to me when I saw the demonstration, was that there was no mistakes. There was only formatting that I had to tell them to update, but there was no mistakes. I mean, for what it needed to do, there was no mistakes. I mean, I was blown away. So much blown away that I keep testing it to just see when is it going to make a mistake. When is it going to make a mistake? And I was telling my cousin about it, because we go back and forth about different things that we're doing. And I told him that, after testing this and after doing some customer surveys and over, kind of looking at my business as a whole, it was like, AI is not taking over because AI takes over. AI is taking over because we as consumers want stuff now. We want that McDonald's on everything that we do. And I'm not saying McDonald's food. I'm saying the fast delivery. The Amazon fast delivery. So we demand it. We demand it. It's not that AI is only here and available because we demanded it as people. businesses, we business owners, you as a business owner, if you can't get your stuff to people faster, you better evaluate to see if there's a way to get it to them faster, because the people are going to demand it. And one of the promises that I made to myself that I had screwed up on with my advertising business, because I got a little bit too comfortable with that company, was that I was like, even when Facebook and Instagram and all of those were coming about and they were offering advertising where people can advertise, I was like, these business owners are not going to go and try to do all this stuff themselves. But I was wrong. And why do they want to go and do it themselves? They want to do it themselves because it's faster, it's cheaper. So it's not Facebook who took away my business from me with my clients. Facebook offered what they wanted. And what they wanted was, they didn't want to pay, some of them still do, but the majority of them, for print advertising, they didn't want to be in print advertising. They wanted to go on Facebook, post their ad, which they're going to get it right away. When they did it with us with print, someone had to go to them or they had to email it to us. We had to put the paper together and then deliver it once a week. They can do all of that in 1 hour now if they're technical. So we demand this. We are the ones that are making AI have to do this. Don't get fooled. So if you have a business, you better look. You better look at that business, and you better see if your business can be overtaken by AI. When I say AI, that means the speed. The speed of getting what you do right now, especially as a service. Now, if you the plumber, you ain't got nothing to worry about until they got, unless Elon Musk sends some robots out to go and do the work for you, or to do the work and try to kick you out of it. But if you're doing a service, and here's a crazy one that I was speaking to one of my attorney friends, and I said, you better protect yourself, because the way that people feel about attorneys now, and the way that things are going with do-it-yourself, you better be careful, because I predict a day that they will not utilize attorneys as the highest level that they're at right now. One of the first, keep your eyes on this. This will be the first the first disruption for attorneys. First disruption. Well, there's a few, but the first one that I see that has not happened yet. So this is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams, predicting the future. First one that I see disrupting, there's probably been others, but one that you probably won't be thinking about till I said it, is personal injury attorneys. I predict that personal injury attorneys will be disrupted, that what you will be able to do is you will be able to go to a website if you had a personal injury, and that website will do the communications with the representative utilizing AI to do the negotiations, and all you'll have to do from that site will probably align you up with a medical provider. It will happen. The reason why I say that can happen, that disruption can happen, is because, number one, I've negotiated. I'm not an attorney, and I negotiated a settlement with an insurance company for my daughter and my son-in-law. For my daughter and son-in-law. And now you might be saying, well, they didn't get as much money as they could have got. Yes, I did, because they had an attorney first, and the attorney was not doing the work for them. They fired the attorney, and then they got me to do the negotiation for them. And I got more than what that attorney was claiming that they could have got. So yes, all it is, think about it this way. For personal injury lawsuits, did you know that every one of the companies, and they say it in the commercials, so they already kind of know that this could happen, is that every insurance company will make you a straight up offer. So really, for the offer to really overcome and for you to justify using an attorney, is that in your own mind you have to believe that if you didn't use that attorney, that you would not get more than 33% more than what you were going to get. So if you're going to get, let's just say you're going to get a $100,000 settlement, the attorney's going to take 33% of that settlement. If they were to come and offer you minus the 33% without using a lawyer, you don't need a lawyer for that settlement. But the lawyer might say, well, I got you $100,000. You didn't actually give me $100,000. You got me your fee. Because I'm not going to get the $100,000. I got to pay you your fee. So any business that has that mental buffer in the middle, you better be careful. You better be careful, because that's how disruption happens. And I'm not here to try to throw some stuff on somebody. It happened to me for my advertising business. And it can happen to anyone in any type of business, especially service type businesses that perform a service. Another website that I saw out there already, and I was at an insurance with the insurance agent yesterday doing the transfer of ownership for a retail store, and he was like that he had got Geico. I think he said Geico. He got Geico, and he was like, he's the only one in our state of Wisconsin that got that, or one of the only ones. And he was like, they don't do nothing. They just want everything done by the internet. They don't want agents. So already you see a disruption that was already there where they didn't want agents. They just probably felt that they wanted to get an agent just in case. But they're not. Their business isn't reliable. Isn't reliant on having the agents. So, understand where you're at with your business so you can guard yourself with that. So, I know that I just went through a lot, but you could potentially be watching one of the next billionaires. I think they said a billionaire or millionaire is every day, but billionaires is probably a few. I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 every year. I don't know. But yes, this product, if I was to do the numbers on the market that's available and the share that I believe that we'll be able to get a piece of, I believe that it could be $1 billion company. I truly believe that. But we're putting in the work and we're going to get it into that position. I will let you know soon when I launch it, and I will let you know if I decided to just invest my own money in the company or if I took the other route and took the investment, because I put a lot of money already just with the prototype. And I will finish that before doing any investments. I always have everything 100% finished before I would ask any investor to invest in what I have to offer. I want to show them that I have true skin in the game. But if I do decide to take an investor, it would be where I would step aside and have that mastermind group in place and hire different people that would just ramp it up. Maybe, and another part of my thought process is, what if I need to kind of, like with the other business where I just invested the money and I take myself out of it because I don't want to throw any limiting mindset or limiting behaviors that I might have, because I've never been in that type of realm of possible income. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially $1 billion product. All right, and before I close out, I got something special getting worked up with one of my business associates. He owns 13 restaurants, I believe, or it might be a little bit less, but a number of restaurants and takeout type restaurants, food trucks, real estate. He has his Tesla truck, and I think he said he had 5 or 6 Teslas in his family. His daughter, wife. I saw his brother. His brother got one. He got the truck. But I told him what we need to do is we need to just sit down, and I'm just going to turn the recorder on, and we're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about the mindset, and I'm going to post it on YouTube. And so I'm trying to arrange that. I did take some pictures though. I took some pictures and because I was like, man, let me get some pictures. So if we do get this going, I want to use that as the thumbnails. All right. Well, I enjoyed speaking with you. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money here on YouTube.